All right, we will get started. Good morning or good evening, everyone. My name is, I'm used to teaching in the mornings, can you tell? But good evening, everyone. My name is Jess Somerset. I will be leading today's public library yoga flow or yoga practice. So for those of you in the room, like I said earlier, I will be mirroring for some things, but I'm going to also be talking to the camera for some of it too. So to get started, just find a comfortable position on your back. So lay down. You can extend your legs long, or you can put your feet flat on the mat with your knees maybe knocked in. Just find a comfortable position. Your feet don't have to be extended all the way to the top of the mat. You can have a slight bend, let your ankles roll out, your toes roll out to the sides. Feel free to rest a hand on your belly, maybe one on your chest, or you can just relax everything down on the ground. Take a second here to lift up the back of your neck, extend through the crown of your head, kind of bringing your chin towards your chest, to elongate through the back of your neck, and then relax your head down. Feel a little bit of extra space there. And just start to ground down and come into the space. Maybe close your eyes. Start to take notice of your breath. Not passing any judgment, just observing. Imagine that you are outside of your body looking in, and you can visualize the rise of your belly, the rise of your chest. With each inhale and with each exhale, let it all go. Start to notice how the breath feels, how it sounds. You can use your breath throughout tonight's practice to help guide you, ground you, to calm you. If you find your mind wandering at any point, come back to the breath. Maybe set an intention for your practice. I did a poll earlier and a few of you said you were pretty stiff. So remember to use your breath, send your breath to those areas. And maybe our intention tonight is to just move and bring a little bit of space to those stiff areas. On your next inhale, start to bring life back into your body. Maybe keep the eyes closed down. Start to pull your knees into your chest, wrapping both arms around your shins. Rock from side to side. Give your lower back a massage. As I mentioned earlier, remember to create space in the back of the neck. Lift the head, elongate to the top of the head. On your next inhale, start to send the knees over to the right. You can keep them stacked together. Sending the knees and the legs over, keeping them pulled in towards your chest. You can extend your right leg down on the mat if that feels more comfortable. Just find whichever position suits your body. Send your breath to those points of tension. And on your next inhale, start to roll back onto your back. Pull both knees into your chest. On your next exhale, start to send your knees over towards the left, hips over towards the right. Take a twist. You can extend your left leg long in front of you. If it's comfortable on your neck, send your gaze over towards the right. Remember to breathe. And if at any point anything feels uncomfortable, remember to breathe into that. But if you feel pain or discomfort, come out. On an inhale, slowly start to come back to center. Rolling back onto your back, pull both knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Start to make circles with the knees pulled into your chest. Extend your feet towards the front of the mat, elongate your arms, and start to just make tiny little circles, engaging the lower abs. And then switch the direction. On an inhale, pull both knees back in towards your chest. And begin to rock lengthwise on your spine. Come up to a seat. Or you can just take one rock, however you would like to get there. And we'll meet with our legs crossed in front of us. Come to a seat. Find your seat bones. Lift up the flesh on the outside of your hips. And just gently place both hands either down on the mat, on your thighs, or one hand to chest, one hand to belly. Close down the eyes just for a brief second to bring ourselves back to our intention, bring ourselves back to this room. Take 3 calming breaths in whatever position serves you, and then we will start our practice together. On your last breath, you're welcome to keep the eyes closed down, or you can look forward. On an inhale, reach both arms up towards the ceiling, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Take the left hand down towards the mat, reach up with the right, and up and over. Taking a side stretch, press the mat away or press the ground away with your left hand. And inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, take it towards the other side. Reach up and over, plug down through your left hip. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take a twist. Right arm to the outside of your left knee. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach back up, facing forward. And exhale, take that twist to the other side. Excuse me. Use your breath to elongate the spine on an inhale. Exhale, maybe twist just a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach up. We're going to go between those 2 movements. Take a side stretch over towards the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it towards the other side. Inhale up, and exhale, twist. And inhale up, exhale, twist. On an inhale, reach back up towards the front of the room. Interlace your fingers over your head and press the ceiling away. Slight curvature in the back on an inhale. And on your exhale, round through the spine, pressing the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bring your hands forward in front of your face, separating the shoulder blades, rounding the back. Inhale up, and exhale, bring your hands back down towards your knees. Take a few neck circles over towards the right. You can stay at that lower half where you're going back and forth, right and left, or you can take your head and neck all the way around. Remember, everything that I say tonight is just a suggestion. You have to decide what feels right in your body. Our bodies are all different. They move differently. And you should honor that. If at any point you need to take time for yourself, remember, come back to your breath and back to your intention. On an inhale, lift the shoulders up by the ears, roll them down the back. Take about 3 shoulder rolls. And then roll the shoulders forward. Great. Swing your legs around and come into tabletop on all fours. If you need extra padding, feel free to roll up your mat, give yourself some knee padding, wrist padding. Options here, you can come up on your wrists, your fists, your palms. So let's just take a few rocks front to back from tabletop. And now come back to a neutral spine. Ensure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Hips are over the knees. And find that distance that's comfortable for you. Gaze is down towards the mat. Press the mat away. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the spine, lift the head, come into cow. Exhale, press the mat away, around the spine, drop the chin towards the chest, come into cat. Inhale into cow, lift the chin, drop the belly. Exhale, press the mat away, cat. Keep breathing, doing those 2 movements. Inhale to cow, exhale to cat. Maybe close down the eyes. This is your practice. You're the only one on your mat. You're the only one that knows what feels good and what you need. Working between these 2 postures, feel free to take some fluid movement here, maybe going in circles. Sway your hips from side to side. Great. On your next inhale, come back to that neutral tabletop. Reach your left arm out to the side, reaching for the curtains, and open the chest, lift up on an inhale. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath the right. Drop your left shoulder down onto the mat. Reach for the mirrors. You can bring your temple down onto the mat too. Just really stretching the outer left shoulder, scapula area. If you are familiar with the bind, you can take that bind here by reaching the right arm up and over, opening towards the curtains, reaching for your left hip. And then take your left arm, reach for your right shoulder to complete the bind. Or just stay here with that thread. And then inhale, come back to tabletop. Rock forward, side to side, loosen the wrists. And we'll thread the needle on the other side. So inhale, extend your right arm over towards the mirror side. Reach up and open the chest. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left. Bring your right temple down onto the mat. If you feel like your hips are swaying over towards the left, sway them back over towards the right, and you'll feel a little bit more space created there. And breathe. On your next inhale, slowly undo that bind if you have it. Come back into your tabletop. Bring your toes together and your knees wide. Sit back into child's pose. Options in child's pose. You can have your knees closer together. You can have your knees wider apart. Wider apart, you'll feel it in the hips. With your knees closer together, you'll feel it a little bit more in your back. You can bring your hands around, down, reaching towards your feet. You can rest your forehead on your palms. Find whatever option works for you. Those are just suggestions. And take 3 breaths here. After you've finished your rounds of breath, slowly press back up into tabletop. Extend your right leg back towards the back of the mat with your toes pressing into the mat. Flex the calf, rock forward and back. Keeping your toes under on the left leg, or you can curl them. And then switch to the other side. Left toes back, in contact with the mat, and rock forward and back. On your next inhale, come back to your tabletop. Tuck your toes. Inhale, press the mat away. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you can pedal out your feet, bend the knees, send the hips up back towards where the back wall and the ceiling meet. On an inhale, drop back into tabletop. Exhale, back to child's pose. Toes together, knees wide, or knees together. Inhale, back to tabletop. Exhale, you know where we're going, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hang out in your downward facing dog for about 3 breaths. Remember, you can always have a generous bend in your knees to elongate the spine. And press down through the finger pads, spread the fingers wide. On an inhale, start to slowly tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. Come into a forward fold and just hang over your legs. Again, you can have a generous bend. You don't have to touch the ground. It's honestly better for you not to try to touch the ground here and really just let your body hang over your legs. Bend in the knees will help open the backs of the legs. Maybe you'll feel like you're folding a little bit deeper. On an inhale, halfway lift, bring your torso parallel with the mat. Hands to the shins. Head is in line with your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. We'll meet at the top. In mountain, high mountain, reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going right back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise up. We'll meet at the top. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take another deep breath here. Ground down through all 10 toes. Maybe spread the toes wide. Lift the heels. On an inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, we're going to take a twist towards the curtain. So right arm forward, left arm back. I guess there's curtains on both sides, huh? The sheer curtains. In this twist here, try to bring your left hip forward and your right hip back to feel that twist in your torso. Yes, so you're still twisting towards the sheer curtains, but instead of twisting from your lower body, we want to twist from the upper torso. So think about bringing your left hip back towards the front of the room. Yes. Inhale forward. Exhale, take that twist to the other side. Same thing here. Your hips are going to want to shift like this. We want to try to counteract that by thinking about bringing our right hip forward, left hip back, kind of like you're pushing yourself, pulling and tugging. Inhale, reach up, take a twist. Inhale up, twist to the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back, clasp your fingers, and puff your chest. Take a deep breath, bring the shoulder blades together. If this is comfortable for you with your hands clasped, slowly forward fold. If not, bring your hands to your low back and then bring them forward. Keeping your hands in that clasp, you can bring your arms over your head. Remember to keep your arm, just like that. Yep, you guys are right. Remember, listen, kind of do what you feel. If what I'm saying makes no sense to you, hopefully that's not the case, but you might perceive it something different than someone else, so just do what you hear. Bring your hands to your low back, slowly start to roll up, and we'll meet in mountain pose one more time. Just a couple more things with our shoulders. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus, open the arms. Inhale, reach up, combining with the twist, twist towards the left. Inhale, reach up, cactus on your exhale. Inhale up, and exhale, twist towards the blue curtains. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. This time grab for opposite elbows, come into ragdoll. So bend your arms, reach, yep. Hang over your legs, bend your knees. Sway from side to side. And then slowly release that. Plant the hands. Step back into downward facing dog. Pedal it out. On an inhale, listen carefully. Bring your right foot in between you only have right and left, but in between your hands, drop the back knee. So come into low lunge and untuck the toes. Just take a second to ground down, get into this position. You can come up onto your fingertips. You can pad the mat again. On an inhale, if you feel stable, lift the arms, lift the chest. Think about tucking your left tailbone down so that you can elongate through the front of your left hip flexor. Good. Maybe take a back bend, slightly lifting the chest, or stay here. Exhale, plant the hands, sit the hips back into half splits, flex the right toes towards your face. Inhale, plant your right foot, come back into that low lunge. Reach the arms up or keep the arms here. You can also come to 90-90 if you feel a little bit more stable there too. That's always an option. Exhale, sit it back, half splits. Flex the toes towards the face. Think about plugging your right femur up into the hip, so pull your right hip back. You'll feel that. And then exhale, plant the foot back in between the hands. Lift the toes, lift the left knee. And you can step back into plank or lower to the half plank with your knees down. Exhale, lower through chaturanga, bend the arms. Or lower all the way down to the mat. Actually, everyone come down to the mat. With your hands underneath your shoulders, your gaze is down towards the center of your mat. Shoulder blades are pulled together. Inhale up to baby cobra. Press into the mat. Exhale, left cheek down to the mat. Inhale up, baby cobra. Extend through the crown of the head. Exhale, right cheek to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Tuck the toes, press up through tabletop, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Bring your left foot between your hands on an inhale, option to lift the leg. Exhale, bring it through, or you can just step through. Plant the hands and untuck the back toes. Reach up when you feel stable on your inhale. So think about if you want to feel this front hip flexor, you have to activate the back side. So to activate the back side, you need to tuck the tailbone. You'll feel that in the front of your right hip flexor. To deepen that, you can lunge a little bit deeper. Exhale, sit it back, half splits. Left toes towards the face. Remember plugging your left femur bone up into the hip. And the goal here is to keep that length in your leg, bring the toes up versus the fold. So think about elongating before reaching forward and folding. Inhale back to low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale back to low lunge one last time. And then plant the hands to frame the foot. Step it back to plank, or just go right to downward facing dog. So from the plank, the vinyasa is exhale to chaturanga, which means arms bent, shoulders back. Inhale up to upward facing dog, pressing into the mat, or cobra, hips are down. Exhale back to downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, drop down to the knees, come into child's pose. Bring the toes together, sit the hips back towards the heels. As we move, I might offer vinyasa, but you don't have to take that. It just keeps the blood flowing if that's what you're looking for. With your arms extended towards the front of the mat, walk your fingertips over towards the right, like little inchworms. And feel that stretch along the left side. You can reach for your left hand with your right wrist and pull just a little bit deeper if that feels good. And take one more breath right here. Walk your fingertips back through center and over towards the other side. Once you arrive, take 2 breaths. Walk your fingertips back towards the front of the mat. Inhale, press up to tabletop. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right foot in between the hands again. This time come up to high lunge. So find that stability in your runner's lunge first, kind of like low lunge, but your knees lifted. And then once you find that, your heel is down in front, your back heel is lifted. Inhale, reach the arms up. Think about squeezing your hips together. That will help you find stability. Think about squeezing your outer hips in. Look towards the front. Good. Do you feel that difference? Remember to breathe. You can also bring your hands to your hips. Bring your hands to your heart center. And the hips are square towards the front. So think about not the same train track, opposite train tracks, but they're all in the same direction, okay? So your toes are pointed towards the front of the mat. Everyone step forward to the top of the mat. Bring the feet together. Take a breath here. Close your eyes, visualize the two train tracks. They're kind of close. The train goes in the same direction, so your toes are pointed towards the front. Lift your left toes up towards your tailbone. Send the train back to the caboose. Drop the tailbone, drop the toes. Your back heel is lifted. Same train tracks. Hips are square. And you have a slight bend in that front knee. If you feel like you can go deeper, you can take that foot further back. But remember, the goal here is to keep the hips squared. And then maybe find that gaze and reach up. Option still always to come back here. Now, high lunge is a little bit of a challenging pose because it is a balance. If you don't want to take that balance, the train's going off the track. And we're coming to warrior one. So spin the back heel down. Hips are still square. The caboose is just kind of wiggling, okay? So your heel is down. When your heel is down, the train is dragging. But you're still stable, okay? Hips are square. Reach towards the front. There's a little bit more stability here because you're not balancing up on those back toes. But the same applies with your hips, with the hips square to the front. This just provides you a little bit more stability. Take a breath once you find either high lunge, warrior one, and then step forward, and we'll do the other side. How's everyone's train feeling? Got it? We're all heading in the right direction now. Maybe the caboose is gonna drag you, but we're all still going the same direction, all right? Let's take a grounding breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. Step that foot back onto the train tracks. Maybe you're in warrior one with the heel spun down, or you're attempting that balance in high lunge. Your arms can be on your hips at heart center. To find more space in your hips, separate your feet. You don't have to, just provide an option. Great. Squeeze the outer hips in. And take one more breath. Inhale, step forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let it all go. Shake it out. This time, someone's coming to rob the train, so we're going to open the doors, okay? So inhale, slowly rise all the way up. Exhale, step back. You're still in the train, right foot. Train tracks. Take an inhale. Exhale, spin the heel down. This time, we're going to open to warrior two. They're opening the doors on the train. So your hips are going to open towards the left side of the room, okay? So for you guys in the room, you should look like this. Your back heel is spun down. Your front heel can be in line with your back heel. It does not have to be. We're just opening the hips here. Chest is wide, just like a sliding door. Your fingertips are pointed towards the front of your mat. Gaze is over the top fingers. Now, since this is a train, sliding doors, your knee should not be inside of your toes. Knee should be open. Knee should be stacked over your heel, okay? Take an inhale just to straighten the leg. Pump the brakes. Exhale, try to get back on track. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, take a breath, straighten, and exhale back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down, frame the right foot, step back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. As always, when I say step back to downward facing dog, you can take a vinyasa from downward facing dog, roll out to plank, exhale down through chaturanga, inhale upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bring your left foot in between your hands, frame the left foot. Now that you guys have been on the train before, let's see if we can do the other side from a low lunge. With your right toes tucked, lift the right knee, come up to runner's lunge. We're putting coal or whatever they do to feel the train, you know. All right, so we're building from the ground up. Hips are square. Maybe come up to that high lunge or bump the heel up, come up to warrior one. The train's just getting on the tracks. Make sure you find those tracks. Maybe your front heel is a little bit closer. You don't have to be the length of your mat. You can be here, here. Everyone's hips are different. So find what position is comfortable for you. The main thing is we're on the train tracks, okay? Hips are square. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, open the train doors, come into warrior two, spin that heel down, maybe in line with the front heel, does not have to be. Keep in mind, the front knee is over the ankle, not the toes. Okay, good. Inhale, straighten, pump the brakes. Exhale, let's get back on track. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands, left arm then right. Close the doors and step back to downward facing dog or take a vinyasa. Tiptoe your way to the front of the mat, fold over your legs, and then slowly roll up, come up to stand in high mountain. Drop your shoulders up, down, and around, and just take a second. Bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes and see how that feels. Think about what you just did. Think about the mechanisms. Think about square hips, open hips, and how to move between the two. Slowly start to blink your eyes open. Keep your hands at heart center or bring your hands to your hips. We're going to play around with a little bit of tree balance. Now that you have some stability on the train tracks, let's try a different route. Maybe this one's going a little bit faster. So put the weight into your left foot and maybe bring your right foot to your ankle with your knee open to the side, to your calf. Don't put it on the knee, but put it in the thigh. The main thing here is that your leg is pressing into foot, foot into leg. And you'll find that stability. So not one direction, but both. Find something to focus on, your drishti, your gaze. That could be a spot on the floor, a spot behind me. It could be me, but I'm moving, so it shouldn't be. And ground down through your breath. Remember, your options are always available. If you come out, it's okay. trees sway in the wind. They got branches too, and they grow. So you can grow your arms on an inhale, reach up. Maybe we're calling spring a little bit early. Or maybe the leaves are falling. Whichever you pick, play around, play with your breath. And then come back down to both feet. Shake it out. We will try the other side. Take a grounding breath. Start to shift the weight into your right foot. Come back to your options. Kickstand at the ankle, at the shin. Never the knee, but the thigh's okay. Press foot into leg, leg into foot. Open the hips. Find your drishti, find your gaze, your focal point. Maybe grow some limbs. It's okay to sway. And then drop down, come back. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a grounding breath. See how that feels. Think about what you just did. Take an inhale and an exhale. Another inhale here. Exhale. Great. Inhale, reach the arms up, high mountain. Exhale, forward fold, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Step back with your right foot, a runner's lunge. Step back with your left, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Always an option to vinyasa. Or take a vinyasa. Flow through your movements, use your breath. Inhale, drop to the knees to tabletop. Toes together, hips back, child's pose. We're going to start to ground down here, but that doesn't mean turn your mind off. That just means to shift your intention from movement to maybe a little bit more stillness. On an inhale, come back up to tabletop just to transition and come down to a seat with your legs extended in front of you. I'll face you all. Grab a drink of water if you need, if you want, and then we will keep moving along. So throughout tonight, I've been breaking our practice just to make sure you guys feel comfortable how we're moving and doing all the movements. So as I break our practice and our concentration, remember to still come back to the breath once I explain it so that you can get the full benefit of it and get the correct benefit out of what we're doing, okay? So from here, lift up with the palms, sit the booty back, lift the hips, find the seat bones, flex the toes towards the face. Great. Bend your left knee, bring your left foot inside of your right thigh. Just open the hip to the side, just like that. Option to stay here. Or you can inhale, reach the arms up, start to fold over your left leg, reach for the foot, or just inch your hands towards your foot. Work with your breath, inhale, and then maybe exhale, fold. Slowly inch up, come back to an upright position. Close the left knee, extend it long down next to the right. Bend the right knee, plus place the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Find your seat bones there. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over your leg. Remember in half splits when we were plugging the femur bone back into the hip, same thing here. Think about pressing and pulling your left leg up into the hip joint before folding. Great. Slowly come up, keeping your right leg where it is. Maybe extend it out just a little bit more, but then bring your left foot to meet the right. Come into full butterfly or full bound angle or Supta, or this is Baddha Konasana, but lots of words for it. Your knees are open to the side. Find those seat bones, lift up, maybe rock from side to side. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, maybe take a fold or just stay in an upright position. And take a couple of breaths. If you are folding, remember to keep the back of the neck long before folding, so we don't want to scrunch up here. We want to elongate the whole spine and then fold forward. Inhale, close the knees. Separate the feet the width of the mat. Scoot your feet a little bit forward and take some windshield wipers from side to side. Doesn't matter which direction. You can stay on one side if that feels good. Maybe you need new windshield wipers like I do, and they get stuck, and you take one foot on top of the other and just stay on that side. And then maybe they start working again, and you uncross and go to the other side. Bring your feet flat on the mat one more time. Extend your left leg out in front of you just to cross it over. You can also lay down, cross it over, or you can stay upright. We're just really opening that hip. If you are on your back, you can pull your right leg into your chest like she's doing right there to feel a deeper stretch. Or if you're seated upright, you can just scoot up a little bit closer or scoot back, scoot your front foot towards your tailbone. Option is up to you. And breathe. Remember to breathe. Slowly come out of that and take that on the other side. If you are on your back, extend the leg up first before uncrossing. If you're seated, you can extend it forward. And then find your edge, find what is calling to you. Take a couple of breaths. Great. Slowly come out of that. Everybody uncross their legs and lay down on your back with your knees pointed up towards the ceiling. And take those windshield wipers again from left to right. On an inhale, pull your knees in towards your chest. Let go of your legs, reach in between them, and come into happy baby. So reach towards the outsides of the feet, send the thighs to the outsides of the ribs. Maybe rock around, play around here. but keep the neck long and the spine extended on the mat. If you are seated, you can take your leg and sway it from side to side too. So lift it from here and feel that in the hip. You can use your other hand to plant your hand on the ground and give you a little bit more stability. Yeah. You can cradle it, whichever feels good to you. If you're on your back in Happy Baby, maybe extend one leg at a time and then the other, reaching towards the sheer curtains or the blue curtains. Great. Slowly pull your knees back in towards your chest. Extend your left leg down on the mat, flat. Send your right knee over towards the left. Come into a supine twist, just like we did in the beginning. You can take your right hand to the top of your right knee if that feels good. Inhale, pull your knee back in towards your chest. And switch to the other side. Extend the left leg long, pull the right knee in towards the chest. Take a twist over towards the right. Maybe your arm goes over towards the left. Maybe your gaze goes as well. And if you're seated, you can extend your leg long, cross that leg over that way. Yes, just like that. Perfect. And then counter twist to the other side if you are seated. If you are on your back, slowly start to roll back onto your back and pull both knees into your chest to reset. Roll the spine. Plant the feet back on the mat. Plant the hands on the mat and reach for your heels. You're not necessarily touching them, but they're in a short distance of them. You more so want your heels underneath your knees, if that makes sense. And then press into the palms, press into the feet. Lift the hips, come up into a bridge. Bring your chest towards your chin. Exhale, lower back down. Elongate through the spine right here. So once we lower back down, lift the head. Bring the chin towards the chest and lower it back. Before pressing into the palms, press into the feet. Lift the hips, come up into your bridge. And exhale, lower the hips down. Pull the knees into the chest on an inhale. And extend the feet up towards the ceiling. If you are seated, lift the tailbone, extend the legs. If you wish, you can stay seated however you wish. Just giving you guys all options. If you are in extended waterfall, think about flexing the toes towards the face. You can have a little bit of a bend in your knees. And then exhale, bring your knees back into your chest. One last time, give yourself a big hug, squeeze. Send all of your energy inward. And then exhale, come into Shavasana. Extend the legs long. This is your final pose, corpse pose. Just like we started our practice. Extend it down on the mat. Take space on your mat. Relax the legs. Relax the hips, the back, the arms. Think about elongating the neck. Maybe close the eyes. Relax the face, relax the jaw. Drop your tongue away from the top of your mouth. Slowly start to bring life back into your body. Start to notice your breath. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Maybe take a good morning stretch, reaching your fingertips towards the top of the mat. Reach long, like you're just waking up from a long nap, long slumber. And then slowly roll over onto whatever is your favorite side. Come into a fetal position. Keep the eyes closed if you wish to close out your practice. Thank your body. Thank your breath. And then slowly roll up to a seat, an easy seat. Cross your shins in front of you. Bring your hands either to your chest, your thighs, or the mat. If your eyes are closed, keep them there. Take 3 grounding breaths together to close out our practice on an inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. One more sip. Exhale. Let it go. Blink the eyes open. Bring your hands to your chest. Thank you all for practicing tonight, and be well. Namaste.